What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off what the chart is showing and based off what the data is suggesting. I'm also going to show you guys a very important announcement that came out from Elon Musk that's very big for the Cybertruck. Also, what's going on with the overall market with the FOMC meeting, and also what Elon Musk did actually put on his Twitter page, which is very big news for the future of Tesla and AI. Now, before I break anything down about Elon Musk and Tesla's price action and my price prediction for tomorrow, I got to mention a couple of things before starting. Real quick, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed 6 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, and you could always sell these 6 free stocks for cash and use that cash to buy some Tesla shares for free. It's a limited time offer. It ends in just 3 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, looking at Tesla, we're up almost 10% for the day. It made a very monstrous move to the upside. Looks quite strong, but as strong as it may look, the foundation may not be as strong as some people may think. So it was very good to see Tesla run up like this. I did talk about this being a possibility yesterday, and I did think that we would maybe get stopped around the low 800s. We went a little bit higher than that, and it does look like we're kind of close to where our top may be before we do see some potential downside. I warned you guys about this yesterday. Tesla has this big gap. I want to give you guys a lot more context about why I do anticipate some downside to come a little bit later. Now, I'm not saying it's going to start on Friday, but I want to actually paint this out for you in a lot more detail. So looking at the markets right now, the markets are actually a lot more on the greedy side compared to before. So the market used to be extremely fearful, like super fearful. People were very uncertain about what was going to happen to the markets. And we've been moving very close to the neutral side. So the markets were seeing lots of relief. And I do believe that this is all part of a trick, all part of a plan, a trap for many retail investors and maybe others out there. And I do anticipate a bit of a rug pull coming very soon for the markets. And one of the main reasons as to why I think that is because there are very big dates for next week. If we look at what's going on, firstly, we have the FOMC meeting between the 26th and 27th, and we know how the FOMC meeting affects the markets. And this is going to be important because we're going to find out if the federal fund rate is going to be going up by 75 basis points or 100. And so far, the market's priced in 75. They haven't fully priced in 100 just yet. Now, right now, it seems very unlikely we're going to get 100. I actually know that. But remember, before these meetings, we tend to have big drops before they end up happening. So that's something to be prepared for. We don't truly know what is going to happen. We also have the GDP report for the second quarter coming out the day after. So that's on the 28th. And I think on the 29th, we have the PCE report. So we have a lot of big things coming out for next week. PCE is kind of like CPI for the Fed. I don't need to talk too much about that just yet, though, because the FOMC meeting is the bigger thing. And what you're noticing in the markets is, yeah, people are like partying. They're super excited. If you look at SPY, this is where things become interesting. Looking at SPY, we formed these tops right here. And let me actually use the 2-hour candles. I actually like to use them just for reference. You could see the SPY had a tendency of making these like double tops right here, but we actually broke out of it and we started pushing up. We might have a little bit more room for this gap right here to get filled. It might get filled, so that's at about that 401 range. We might see the SPY kind of touch 401, 402, completely fine. It would be up like about 1% compared to where it is right now. And once we fill that gap, I do think the SPY is going to actually start to reverse and actually start dropping pretty hard, because there are many indications of that, not just market conditions and what the Fed is doing, but also the SPY has these gaps down here. The SPY has a gap down here. Let me actually close my Bollinger real quick. Just to make this clear, the SPY has a gap at around 382. We have another gap at 378. And there's a third gap really low at around 367. Now, for next week alone, I mean, it's unlikely we're going to drop all the way down to 367. It is possible, though, but I do think it's very likely we see these two gaps down here get filled. So I will say it. I think it's very likely we see the SPY in the 370s next week taking a big hit. Now, it's not the end of the world because this is just due to, the FOMC meeting and other factors like that. And we could actually start to see the downside move start tomorrow. So maybe the SPY pushes up just a little bit, gets a rejection of 402 or so, then it starts dropping a little bit. It might get a flat close or a little bit of a red close, but then next week for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I do anticipate a lot of red because of that. So one of the things you're noticing about SPY is the volume isn't that great. We're seeing it kind of running on a declining volume. And as a result of that, we've seen what this has done historically in the past when volume starts to dry up and it pushes up, just like this moment right here. This can be another indication that the SPY might start to take a hit soon. And for me personally, this will have an effect on Tesla. So what does this mean for Tesla? Tesla made a very nice move. It actually broke out of this wedge. It looked very strong. Now what I want to do is I'm going to close these drawings just for a second. I just want to focus on the Bollinger Band. This is very important. So I mentioned previously a couple of days ago that the Bollinger Bands got really tight and we were likely going to see a big move in either direction. I did think that upside would be a little bit more probable. And you could see we actually pushed well above the upper band, which means we made a very significant move to the upside. But one of the things about us moving in such a fast manner over such a short period of time is the uncomfortable truth, and that is Tesla's overbought right now. It's been pushed up very hard over such a short period of time. And when moves like this happen, especially after earnings, we have a tendency of seeing Tesla kind of drop relatively soon. So that's essentially what I'm seeing happening in the near-term future. That means that maybe as we approach next week, we're probably going to start to fill this gap and Tesla's going to come back down to the 700s, the mid to low 700s. It's kind of obvious that that's very likely to happen. I mean, a lot of technical indicators aren't showing it just yet. That's what this chart is showing me though. So I want to look at where the VWAP is. It's actually still like at a pretty high place, so it's not doing too bad. But let me actually draw out what I think will happen now just for you, just to show you a lot of context. So let me actually bring back my drawings. So looking at Tesla from this perspective, I'm going to actually highlight the support and resistance levels that you need to be paying very close attention to and talk about why on earth I do anticipate downside to come in the near future. So Tesla has been pushing up and it does look like it has a little bit more room. I do think we're going to actually test the 830 level of resistance. That's a very key zone, maybe around that range. And the next very key zone would be that 858 range, which is where we have that gap. Now, do I think we're going to go this high? I think that's very unlikely from this point, considering the volume. I think that Tesla is most likely going to get stopped around that 830 range, maybe like 830, 835, around there. And once we enter that range, we're going to start dropping, but we're going to see some consolidation kind of start off first, and then slowly going into tomorrow, perhaps near the end of the day, we might decline a bit, but next week, that's when I think Tesla's going to really start to see the hits. I think it's going to slowly start to drop and drop and drop and actually fill the gap all the way down into the 740s. And it's probably going to drop a little lower than that. So I want everyone to be prepared for this because this is essentially a trap. And just to draw out what could end up happening tomorrow is we do have some room for a little bit more upside, just a tiny bit more. Let me just show you what it could look like. So just to draw this out, I think tomorrow Tesla's going to push up into open just a little bit. It might actually slowly start to test that 830 range like this. We might see very, very strong resistance around that range, 830, 835, somewhere like that. And slowly we're going to get a rejection off of that, and we're going to start declining as the day goes on. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start testing 800 flat. And if 800 doesn't hold us, we could end up going as low as that 780 range. Now, predicting tomorrow exactly is pretty tricky, but I just want to highlight where the key support zones are. But we may actually see a bit of a red day tomorrow, kind of like this, because the market might start to drop. And simultaneously, when we see Tesla in the 830s, we might see this being the time that the SPY fills its gap on the way up before getting a rejection and starting to drop. So for next week, that's when I think we're going to see even more bearish price action. Tesla has some support at 776. I don't think that's going to hold us next week. We're going to drop lower. The next key zone will be that 750 range or 752. I also think that this support is not going to hold us. Tesla's going to drop below that. Then we're going to test the 740s, 730s, and that's where we have this gap fill. So we're most likely going to come all the way down to the 740s. going into next week, and we're probably going to start trading a little lower considering all the factors out there. Now, what else is going to be announced is we have the GDP report coming out on the 28th of July. That's very important because of the fact that the GDP report is going to confirm on paper if we were truly in a recession for Q2. That's huge because the market is going to, react to that. We're going to see a lot of fear from the mainstream media. A lot of big things are going to come out of that as well if we truly were in one, and we most likely will see that. So my intention is to prepare you for that. Now, that is some of the bad news that's out there, but I do have great news for us and all Tesla investors too. If we look at what the news is showing right now, Elon Musk actually said that Tesla could start the Cybertruck deliveries in mid-2023. So this is going to be a major, major catalyst for all Tesla investors, for all Tesla people out there that are interested in this company, because this is going to be very, very amazing for their deliveries, their production, the amount of sales that they end up getting, because they are seeing a big backlog in the orders, and it's going to be incredible. So when we get dates like this, sometimes they are a little bit early, but I'm pretty optimistic considering all the progress that they've made in different factories. So I wouldn't be surprised if they actually finally meet this goal. It has been the talk of 2020 for a very long time. So to me personally, 2023 does seem to be the year for the Cybertruck. Hopefully by mid 2023, as Elon Musk said. Once again, absolutely incredible. I can't wait for it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is this right here. This is something that was highlighted on Elon Musk's Twitter page. And right over here, Dave Lee stated that we're on the cusp of something big, really big, namely the emergence of AI-powered robots that will be able to do most of what humans do, but better. This is both exciting and concerning. And Elon Musk responded somewhere here. I think Musk responded with a true. He basically thinks it's very true that AIs could be not just exciting, but a little bit concerning. And this is the kind of like the importance of us not just controlling them, but actually learning about them, because AIs are the future, believe it or not. Whether it is Tesla that kind of like leads the way or not, we have to control this technology, or else it could become very, very dangerous. And on top of that, it's going to be amazing for humanity in many ways. They're going to be a big assistance for us in our means of producing output, but there are some substantial effects of it that could be kind of discussed in another video. I know people have different views, and I completely understand that. Nothing is truly perfect or like good in every way, shape, or form possible. There are good and bad factors to really account for. So I just want to put that out there. But once again, like I said, AI technology is going to be massive, as Elon Musk is often talking about this on his Twitter page. And that is part of why on Earth I'm super, super bullish for the long-term future of Tesla. So short-term, yep, Tesla's probably going to fill the gap down here next week. We're probably going to start a bit of a drop maybe tomorrow. That's what I think is going to happen. If it doesn't start tomorrow, it's probably most likely going to start next week. But remember, it's not the end of the world, because the long-term future is still super bright. I see this thing going to the thousands of dollars a share. I see the stock split coming soon. It's also going to be very, very big. So be ready, be prepared, and get ready for anything. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon, and peace out.